Hey YouTube! So, I was playing a Yamaha RBX last week, which I just sold my pal Jess, which I just found a set of strings. Actually, I stood on a set of strings with my bare feet, and it was like, oh, so I forgot to put the strings back in the packet. Jess, I'm sorry, I hope you got the bass. Oh yeah, a set of strings. They weren't particularly good strings anyway, they were the fiver ones. Yes, anyway, so my pal bought this. This is a BB bass. Yamaha, not the RBX. This is not what I thought they looked like, or I think this is maybe like a 90s version of it or something like that. I think for me, normally a BB had a something a little bit the same problems a Yamaha SG has, where it's a bit bulbous looking, kind of like a P bass, but a bit fatter and it's an out of shape type thing. This is not that. This is more. This is the other direction. This is kind of taking a P bass and then going towards like a sportier model. It's got this scoop in it, which I think I seem to remember being in the RGX guitars as well. But this is quite a high end one. This is a 600 series, a 604. So I mean that RBX, that was a one series. Yamaha go for their did I say Ibanez earlier? I meant Yamaha. Yamaha, the first numbers normally how much it costs, kind of thing, or very approximately. So like a 321 is about 300 and something pound, or a 621 is like 600 and something, kind of very roughly. Yeah, so high end thing. Actually, this is reminding me very much of the bass I'm playing with the Black Sabbath band tomorrow night. So see you tomorrow night. Kind of why I'm playing the bass today, because it's a two-a-side headstock or a P bass. I need to sort that focusing thing. Yeah, so it's kind of weird. I really like, one of my favourite things about that Ibanez is the fact it's got the smaller headstock. It just makes the whole thing seem more compact. And I am looking at this. Okay, it does have 24 frets. It's not necessarily P bass shape. It doesn't have P bass pickups, and it doesn't have P bass controls. So it's a bass, but I kind of there's still something about this that's kind of like my Ibanez Roadster. So you've got just two-side tuners, a retainer bar. I think the Ibanez has a funny retainer bar in it as well. Good. The good kind of gold. You get gold often especially on cheaper guitars. It's kind of not a very nice shade of gold. You get that, especially if you ever see any Chipsons or anything like that. It's like that sort of almost brassy looking colour. It looks shite. This is proper good looking gold. High mass bridge as well. There was a knob missing, so I've put a knob on here. So the one knob that doesn't match the other four is the volume, which I thought was good. There's actually a plastic, I don't know if you can see there. Right, I'm going to have to sort that focus thing. I was messing about with it. The camera was giving me a really bad picture there for ages, and then it was why is it still saying autofocus? Okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to think about two things at the same time. It's not an easy thing to do. Yeah, so it's got this plastic thing on it, which tells you what all the knobs do, which, to be totally honest, you need it. I've never really gone into the active thing. I tried to. I've got a West Tone that I've tried to do, but the thing I was using broke and I got annoyed. That was a couple of years ago. It's just sitting in the corner, being hated for that. So we've got, and the reason I know this, some of the knobs are okay, but so we've got this bit of plastic that tells you what everyone does. So we've got master volume. This is pan pot. That's fine. So it's just a blend. So you get neck and bridge, with a centre indent. That's fine. And then we've got bass and treble active, both fine. So you get like a boost and a cut on the bass and treble frequencies, which is worth it. This is active pickups, I think, or it is, rather than being an active circuit with. So you need to have a battery. So in your gig bag, have a 9-volt battery just in case. This one here is a mid-cut frequency with bright and dark on it. That is not centre indented. and then there's a mid-cut switch, which is off or on. So, I mean, the trick is, I suppose, you turn it on, it sounds good anyway. Bridge pickup. Both pickups. Neck. Or not really neck pickup, mid pickup. Now, I always think with jazz bass pickup, jazz basses, which I suppose these look like jazz bass pickups, but because they're active and all this, I'm not really sure they are. You always want it to have one of the neck pickup on full, and then this one just on a wee bit, or no, this one just not quite on full. This doesn't do that though, does it? I was going to sit there, pity there's not a tone control. There totally is, but I need to work it out and kill the bass. Back to the centre. More treble. Treble pickup. Those are sounds I would never use, but there is a mix that sort of thing is necessary for, definitely. Depending what it is you're doing. It's really, really comfy to play. No, maybe there is a time I think when I will eventually go to a modern bass. Right, so let's have a look at this. So this is the mid cut switch off, and here's this other knob. What it does, all the way off, all the way on. See, even though it's got it written on it what these things do, I think this switch turns this on and off. Yeah, so you've just got a bass and a treble, and then this switch turns on this other knob for dark and bright. Bright, dark, neither bright nor dark. Yeah, I mean, the scope of what this does is ridiculous. And to be honest, none of the sounds have been bad, or even ones. You know, there is a situation where maybe, I don't know, different venues or different people you're playing with. You're playing with a keyboard player or something like that. You know, this would be, I would go for the sort of fat P bassy sound, but not quite as much. Wee bit. It's got a very nice even sound across all the strings, which I seem to be going on about an awful lot recently about all the strings being the same volume thing. That's the mid-cut switch off. Your kill treble bit. Bass. I suppose this is like a part of a bass video I never get to, because pretty much all the basses I play is like a volume control and a tone control, and that's it. This having not even like a switch to switch between the pickups, it's a blend pot, so it's infinitely variable. And then you've got bass and treble, and then you've got this extra boost thing, which is variable as well. So I mean, there's a lot of messing about you can do with this. I suppose if you're after a very specific sound, I'm kind of the same with the guitar. I don't know if I'm necessarily after a specific sound. I just want one that sounds good. But it's very precise sounding. Very clean as well. So I mean, the difference between this and wasn't what I thought it was, and the RBX, I don't know, because I'd imagine I think that you can get both of them, and I don't know. I think they both ran concurrently at the same time. I think really the only difference is the shape. Really, because I'd imagine this pickup, I'd imagine you can probably get this one just as a single P bass, or without all the active stuff, or the 604, the 4 probably represents something. There might be this is completely guessing, there might be a 601 and a 602 that maybe one of them's got a P bass pickup in it, and then one of them's got the PJ, or one of them's got the 2 jazzes, and then one of them's got the P bass pickup and is active, and then you get this one. That could be completely made up though. But I can see the point in having. It's just kind of just having. If you were using this for recording, which my pal is going to be using this for, it's nice to have. It's basically just having like a wee bit like having the EQ on your desk, but you can do it first, rather than try to do it in the actual machine and listen to it in the monitors. You can just like, I'll just use that sound, and then there's your starting point, which is very close to what you want. And it depends how these things sit in a mix as well. It's like if you've got a synth sound on it, or something that's quiet, or something that the bass can sometimes swamp something else out, whereas this one you just make the bass not do that frequency where it's interfering with something else, and you can boost it somewhere. It's just one of the things about bass, just a general thing, not this bass, is just that whole sit and listen to somebody doing what I'm just there, you're just noodling away on the bass, always sounds a bit wank. Because you can't actually do that in a band, or if you do, you're normally shit. So it's kind of like a funny one, the bass, because you're playing it. So much time you spend on the bass is supportive role, or just doing something very repetitive. So I think, I suppose, not more so than with the guitar, a lot of the best bass bits, or my favourite bass bits, aren't particularly hard bass bits. They're not ones with lots of notes, they're just ones where it just kind of goes bah, 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 or something, just like a couple of banging notes, rather than it being pure, I really want to be learning how to popping and slapping, get some flea on. Not necessarily, no, there's an awful lot of really good Sabbath bits. No, I'll take that back now. What I was just saying about there not being that much difference. It's really just the shape between this and the RBX. I think this one looks better. This one's a P bass. The RBX isn't. The RBX is a modern bass, like an Ibanez sound gear, which I suppose technically might be more ergonomic. You know, if you're doing the Mark King or something. But if you're cool and you're used to playing a P bass, it totally feels almost exactly the same as my Ibanez Roadster. How much of that's to do with the fact it's got the two-a-side headstock? Not that much, but I'm just finding this is just the same. I'm looking up there and going, no, it's not a P bass. All the bits that touch you are the same, and okay, it doesn't have the same type of pickups, but although these are jazz bass pickups, I'm not thinking this is not a jazz bass. The controls, there's too much control. It's too different from the way a jazz bass works to be a jazz bass, even though the pickups look like jazz. It does have two pickups and they're jazz bass shaped. What a twaddle I like to talk. What's that switch do? I hope the desk isn't going into red, and I haven't turned off that mic, so hopefully this isn't just farting. But I'm kind of been keeping the volume low because it's so boosty. So you can really hear individual notes. That's not a sound we would use that much. That's a big fat sound. The problem with that is, though, if you're playing that, you might be drowning other folk out. Whereas if you're in a three-piece or something like that, that's what you want when someone's playing a guitar solo. You want this behind it. I bet you get good at working at something. I got a wee bit into analog synths for a while, and it came to the point where I did actually know with the wee Moog how to do what I wanted it to do. So it's going, I really want it to be a bit more, and it's hard to put these things into words. And then I knew which knob did what. Kind of. I'm sure this does the same thing, where once you learn exactly how all that, I'm just fidgeting about with it, just. Oh, that's a good sound, randomly doing it. I bet you, with a lot of use of this, you could totally nail it for not necessarily getting different sounds for every song, which you could totally, if you're in like a wedding band or something like that, you know what I mean? You can, they'll do fucking anything. It'll be great for it, including the My Name Is Al bass solo, that kind of thing, as well as the Beatles. But the reason I'm rabbiting on there is because I forgot what I was actually going to say. But no, what it would mean if you were maybe playing somewhere where you were using amps that you weren't really sure about what they were doing, or that kind of thing, or like a jam thing where you turn up and just plug into the bass amp. You don't really want to be fucking about with somebody else's amp too much, whereas this will probably just go, alright, that amp's set a bit too trebly, and actually just adjust it from the bass so you're not pissing off, or you've just given the sound guy I can just get myself through that monitor, bang, and then it's up here. Then you can just hone the tone yourself. Hone the tone, Mr. Whitesnake. Hone the tone. New series. Rock on, and the seats tomorrow night.